And now for your listening pleasure, it's Umbie's World presents Storytime with Martha and Reginald. Yay!
Well, hello, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Umbie's World presents Storytime with Martha and Reginald. I'm your host, Martha.
And I'm your host, Reginald.
Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to read 8 creepypastas.
Oh, great. We'll be here all day.
Well, you see, Reginald, they're all very short.
How short are they?
Well, some are a few paragraphs and some are just one paragraph.
You were supposed to say, they're so short. They're so short.
They're so short that some are a few paragraphs and some are just one paragraph?
Really, Martha? Can't you tell when I'm setting you up for a joke? This is a comedy channel. Or did you not know?
Oh, of course I know it's a comedy channel, Reginald. I'm quite funny if I do say so myself.
Well, if you don't, no one will.
Well, let's not waste any more time. I'll read the first one, and then we'll alternate.
Okay.
Here we go with our first tiny story, Mother's Call. A young girl is playing in her bedroom when she hears her mother call to her from the kitchen, so she runs downstairs to meet her mother. As she's running through the hallway, the door to the cupboard under the stairs opens, and a hand reaches out and pulls her in. It's her mother. She whispers to her child, "Don't go in the kitchen. I heard it too."
And then what happens?
I don't know. That's the end.
Well, let's see. I guess we're supposed to wonder how the mother could hear herself yelling from another room.
Maybe she has a twin sister.
Then why would she tell the daughter to not go in the kitchen?
Maybe they don't like the sister and want to pretend they're not home.
I guess they've never heard of locking the door.
Oh, right. Well, it's your turn, Reginald. Why don't you read The Statue?
All right, then. The Statue. A few years ago, a mother and father decided they needed a break, so they wanted to head out for a night on the town. They called their most trusted babysitter. When the babysitter arrived, the 2 children were already fast asleep in bed. So the babysitter just got to sit around and make sure everything was okay with the children. Later that night, the babysitter got bored and went to watch TV, but she couldn't watch it downstairs because they did not have cable downstairs. The parents didn't want children watching too much garbage. So she called them and asked them if she could watch cable in the parents' room. Of course, the parents said it was okay, but the babysitter had one final request. She asked if she could cover up the angel statue outside the bedroom window with a blanket or cloth, because it made her nervous. The phone line was silent for a moment, and the father who was talking to the babysitter at the time said, "Take the children and get out of the house. We'll call the police. We don't own an angel statue." The police found both of the children and the babysitter slumped in pools of their own blood within 3 minutes of the call. No statue was found.
So the statue was really a person that killed them, am I correct?
I believe so. Much easier to figure out than that first one.
Indeed, though I don't quite understand why someone would mind there being a statue outside the window. Can't she just close the blinds?
Maybe she has automatonophobia.
Look at you, Reginald, with the $64 words.
Well, you've got to have a wide vocabulary if you want any respect in this world.
Yes, I suppose. This next one is called The portraits. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until he was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around the inside of the cabin, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by several portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred and malice. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable. Making a concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces, he turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, the hunter awoke. He turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight. Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Ooh, that's scary, isn't it, Reginald?
It's just like the other one, though, don't you think?
Yes, but in this one they didn't murder him.
So they were just creepy weirdos looking at other people's windows?
Maybe it was their house.
Then why didn't they come inside?
Maybe the door was locked.
Why on earth would the door be locked?
I don't know. Maybe the hunter locked it so bears couldn't get in.
Really, Martha? Bears?
Oh, let's just get off this tangent before it takes up the entire video. Get cracking on this next one.
Alright. This one is called I'm Worried About My Son. I'm very worried about my son. More than worried at this point. Terrified. His behavior these past few weeks is not normal, not healthy. It makes me think there's something wrong. At first, he would just come and stand at the doorway. He did this at night, just before I'd be ready to fall asleep. I'd roll over to turn off the lamp, and he'd be standing there, in the doorway. I used to try to speak to him. I don't do that anymore. He never answered me. He just stares. A couple of days ago, he graduated from standing in the doorway to coming in and sitting on the bed. He still doesn't speak. I have asked him what he wants. I've asked him if anything is bothering him. It's not like him to be so quiet. He usually waits until my wife is asleep. That's the part that gets me. She always falls asleep before me, and he has never come in when she's awake. But then, she didn't have a hand in this. If something doesn't change soon, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm starting to feel like he knows that I'm the one who killed him.
Oh my goodness, it's like M. Night Shyamalan. Don't you think, Reginald?
Yes, very clever.
I suppose these are all supposed to have twist endings, but that one got me good.
I wonder why he killed his son.
Perhaps he got bad grades.
Bad grades?
Some parents are very strict about grades, Reginald, especially in those Asian countries.
Alright, don't go off on another ethnic rant like you did at Costco.
That food demonstrator grabbed a salmon puff right out of my hand.
It was your fifth one, dear.
You never defend me, Reginald. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just continue, shall we?
Fine.
So now we'll be reading what are actually referred to as trollpastas.
Trollpastas. Is that what Shrek eats?
Oh, Reginald, you are a cod! What delightful humour!
Thank you. But really, what is a troll pasta?
I honestly have no idea, Reginald. But I assume they're just creepypastas that... I don't know. Maybe they're about trolls?
I must admit, I am intrigued. Let the troll pasta be served.
Indeed. This first one is called Who Was Phone? So, with honey, and you're making out when the phone rings. My goodness, this is the worst spelling and grammar I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, just read it. I want to see what happens.
Really, Reginald? This is the one that's got you biting your nails with anticipation.
Come on now, let's not drag this on.
Fine. So, with honey, and you're making out when the phone rings. You answer it, and the voice is, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl, and she say, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone?
That part was in all caps. You have to shout it.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Then who was phone? Wait a minute. This makes no sense. A person can't be a phone.
It's supposed to be who was on the phone.
Oh, this is ridiculous. This isn't even a story. It's a few sentences written by a child.
Or a troll.
Can trolls even write?
I don't know. Why don't you ask your brother?
Oh, Roger is a handsome man with a beautiful wife.
That's his wife. I thought it was Grimace.
Grimace? Who is Grimace?
From the McDonald's restaurant.
Oh, right. He's friends with that burger bandit.
I'm pretty sure they're sworn enemies.
Oh, my mistake. Well, this next one is in all caps for the whole thing, so I guess you'll be shouting it then.
Well, I want to respect the author's vision, don't I?
Author's vision? We're really tugging at it today, aren't we?
Indeed. So here we go with Today of all te blood. I'm sorry, I mean Today of all te blood.
Oh, jeez Louise.
This is the story of a day where there was all this blood. A man was walking around and blood started coming out of him everywhere. There was so much blood that it filled up an elevator. He went to the store and there was just blood all over the place. People were slipping in it and they were all grossed out. He tried to go swimming and all of the sharks went nuts and bitten everybody. He got chased by all the vampires ever. One time the blood got a kid and a dog. At the end of the day, everyone decided they would send him to space so that he would stop getting blood everywhere. The scariest part is that the man was you. Or he was a lady if you are a lady. And you forgot that this happened.
I don't even know what to say.
It's no Dickens.
Are these supposed to be serious?
I can't imagine so.
Well, then I think we've figured it out, Reginald. The troll in trollpasta must mean it's written by an imbecile.
Deductive reasoning at its finest. Oh look, the next one is also in all capitals. Have fun.
Oh my good lord. So this most likely is another childish tale of utter stupidity called "And Then a Skeleton Popped Out." A few years ago, a man was walking...
Aren't you going to read the warning?
What? What are you saying, Reginald?
Aren't you going to read the warning?
What warning?
Look there.
Warning. If you have a heart condition...
No, you have to yell it in all caps.
I'm not yelling the warning, Reginald. Warnings are almost always in all capitals. Warning. If you have a heart condition, do not read this. You will drop the floor, flopping like a fish, while clenching your heart, seeing as how you are having a heart attack. Also, if you have a sensitive anus, do not read this. The brick you shat will be painful. Well, I guess we're not reading this one.
I don't think it's serious, Martha.
Oh, come now. I was trying to make a joke like you, Reginald.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was actually quite funny. I let it go right over my head, I did.
Okay, well, let's read the story because this is going on much longer than it should be. So here it is, and then a skeleton popped out. Ahem. A few years ago, a man was walking down a road because his car broke down and he saw a car coming up behind him, so he stuck out his thumb to hitchhike and the car stopped ahead of him. He ran up to the passenger side and opened the door. When he opened the door, a skeleton popped out.
They told us how it ended in the title.
Talk about anticlimactic.
I must say, I liked the other one better. It had more zazz.
What is zazz?
I'll show you later when we go to bed.
How romantic. Well, we're down to one, and I must say, from 8 short horror stories, I would expect more scares, don't you think?
Well, how can you really scare people in such a short time? I figure you'd need at least a few pages.
Maybe this last one will be the spookiest, though from its title it doesn't look like much.
The Boy Who Loved to Read.
Take it away, Reginald.
Once there was a boy who loved to read. He read everything he could get his hands on, and loved going to his favorite bookstore. One day the boy realized he had read everything the store had to offer. He confronted the owner, and asked him if he had anything the boy had never checked out. The owner said, "Why, yes, I do," and pulled out a book called Death.
Oh my!
He gladly sold it to the boy at a discounted price of $50. However, he warned the boy never to read the front page. Well, the boy returned to his house and read the book, and he was content. However, he always wondered what could be on that front page. It was always in the back of his mind. One day, the temptation was too much for the boy, and he flipped to the very front of the book and dropped the book in horror. There, in bold print, was MSRP $6.99. Oh God, no! No! Oh God, the horror! The horror, Reginald! I'm shaking. Hold me.
Tell me it isn't true, Reginald. Tell me it isn't real.
It's a dream, my sweet darling. Just close your eyes and we'll be safe together.
I can feel death all around me.
Think happy thoughts.
I can't. The demons are rising from the dark abyss. They're molesting my senses and tearing my heart in all directions. The darkness, Reginald, the darkness.
Don't lose yourself, Martha. That's what they want.
Hail Mary, full of grace, full
Our
of grace.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
It's not working. We've got to pray harder, Reginald.
Let's sing a hymn.
I'll try.
What if God was one of us? Just a slum like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home.